let's go ahead. Let's take a look at our Pac-12 Power Rankings this week. We've got a little bit on the move, Eric. I do want to start with you first and foremost. What do your Pac-12 Power Rankings look like this week?
Oh, a lot different than I thought they were going to look. I'll tell you that. Listen, you still have U of A at 1, but I'm going to be honest with you. Part of this is just because this entire conference continues to cannibalize itself as the Pac-12 only knows how, and it's only fitting for them to do this in the same season. I got Oregon at 2, Colorado at 3, Washington State, who I remember saying I didn't believe in earlier in the season. They've climbed their way up to 4. Really, really tough couple of outings for Utah against the Washington schools. They're at 5 still, though, because Arizona State had a really tough outing against the Oregon school. So you can't drop Utah down that far when Arizona State kind of did the same thing. And then we have our friends over at Oregon State, who I believe jumped up, I think it was almost 5 spots. I think it might have been the very last team in my last Pac-12 Power Rankings. And that is just an incredible week from them, obviously beating the University of Arizona on a last-second shot. And then they played another game. I forget what happens there. Stanford, Washington, Cal, UCLA, and now USC. Bronny, what happened at the very end of my Pac-12 Power Rankings?
It's tough to see. It's tough to see some of these schools go out the way that they're going out in the conference. It is kind of funny. I do have the same Pac-12 Power Rankings as you. Let's go ahead. Pull those up. Look, man, great minds think alike. Arizona atop the conference. An impressive weekend for them, obviously taking down Oregon. Way to get back kind of after an embarrassing loss to Oregon State. Oregon, number 2. They beat Arizona State, lost to Arizona. I still think Oregon is the second best team in this conference. I do have Colorado still at 3 despite the loss to Washington State on Saturday. Washington State does move up to 4. Utah at 5. Arizona State at 6 after a really rough weekend. We'll get into everything as it relates to the Sun Devils here in just a little bit, but really a poor performance from ASU all of last week. Heading into the weekend, didn't really stand a chance against Oregon State. Came out flat, and Jordan Pope really took them to school. Stanford at 8, Washington at 9. Cal at 10, continuing their rise. I believe Cal's on a 2-game win streak in conference play. Interesting to see. And then at the very bottom, UCLA at number 11 after a big 15-point win over USC. And like you said, Bronny James Jr. and the USC Trojans at the very bottom of these Pac-12 Power Rankings. It has been embarrassing to see USC get worked game in, game out by everybody in this conference. And they are not only at the bottom of our Pac-12 Power Rankings, they have now fallen to the bottom of the Pac-12 standings as well. Guys, let us know what you think of this week's Pac-12 Power Rankings.